What's that from? Is that from something?
Going in somewhere?
Did he go in there? Yeah. Oh, that's from Buddy System.
Oh, bro.
Like some of the script from Buddy System
Where's that
is
from?
creeping into our improv. You say, I wouldn't go in there. I was but I went in there.
But I went in there, and you say it like an old lady.
But I went in there.
But you don't really.
And then I go in there.
You do.
I wonder where I went.
It's very secret.
All right. Can I just tell you this story, and then I just want you to give your unadulterated Rhett reactions all along the way, peppered throughout. This is a story of 3 men
and a baby.
One is dead. On the night of August 27th, 2011 in Denver, Colorado, Robert Jeffrey Young, 43, that's his age.
3 names. That's trouble.
Went to his friend's house, 43-year-old Jeffrey Jarrett.
Oh, 2 names. He's a good guy.
2 43-year-old Jeffreys.
But double letters. That's bad news.
It gets worse, Rhett. It gets worse than 2 letters.
Okay.
Upon arriving, Robert found that Jeffrey was unconscious. He did not call the police. Instead, he went to the restaurant where his other friend, Mark Rubinson, who was 25, was working.
Okay. Young and easy to manipulate.
Robert told Mark, something's wrong with Jarrett, which he called him Jarrett, not Jeffrey, but who cares? So
They call him by his last name.
The 2 of them leave. That's not. Yeah, that is his last name.
It is.
The 2 of them left the restaurant.
Something's wrong with Jarrett, man.
Like dead wrong. Something's dead wrong with Jarrett.
Come with me, bro.
They left the restaurant and went to check on Jarrett. And when they arrived, Jarrett was still unresponsive.
He's still something wrong with him.
Still as dead as he was.
We was something wrong with him when I left, and now we're back. It's still something wrong with him. It's the same thing.
All right, so let me show you a picture of these 2 so you know who we're dealing with. Do these look like the kind of guys that would do something stupid in this situation?
No.
It's not like their mouths are gaped open and they don't know where to put their eyes, or the fact that these are probably mug shots.
But Mark looks like, man, I screwed up. Robert is like still trying to figure some way out. You know, it's like, he's like, oh.
There's a little hole down there at the floor.
He still thinks there's a way out of this.
I actually think the opposite. I think Mark looks pretty dumbfounded. Robert looks remorseful.
Oh, really?
Can't make eye contact.
I think you have the inability to decipher emotions on people's faces.
I'm a psychopath.
You might need to see somebody about that.
They still did not report Jeffrey Jarrett to the police. Instead, they dragged him from his home and stuck him in the back of Mark's SUV.
Weekend at Bernie's.
They weekend and Bernie's'd it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do this when a friend dies.
Turns out Robert and Mark were hungry because they went to Viva Burrito, a Mexican restaurant, and racked up some burritos using dead Jarrett's debit card.
No, they didn't.
Then they went to a gas station to fill up the vehicle with dead Jarrett's debit card. But it's okay because dead Jarrett's in the car.
Hold on, but this...
When you're in the car, it's like he's all but swiping.
Isn't that... In Weekend at Bernie's,
Alex.
are they taking advantage of... Are they using his bank account and stuff in that?
I'm a Weekend at Bernie's 2 guy.
Weekend at Bernie's 2?
Well, you don't know what happened in Weekend at Bernie's 1. You know what happened in Weekend at Bernie's 2? He's still dead, right?
Yeah, but there's voodoo involved in Weekend at Bernie's 2. It's a
Whoa. Hold on, it's still Bernie?
Yes.
How many years later after Weekend at Bernie's 1?
Immediately after.
But how many years later was it made?
I don't know. Probably not too long.
Drew will
after.
find out.
Someone
in
is
the
researching
meantime,
it.
so you're saying Weekend at Bernie's 2 picks up right where Weekend at Bernie's 1 left off.
Yeah.
Which
Bernie-
he'd been dead the whole time.
Because you got a dead body that you got to accommodate.
It was 4 years after Weekend at Bernie's 2 came out.
But immediately after
the
in the
story was
story.
moments after.
Right.
Yeah, Bernie is just still dead.
Did
but-
they? So why did they go to voodoo? What?
Well, Bernie had some outstanding debt, but the good news is he had some treasure buried. And whenever this music plays, dead Bernie dances towards the treasure. And that's the story.
Is it the same cast?
Yeah, same guys.
Who are the 2 guys in that?
Jonathan Silverman and Andrew McCarthy, is that his name?
Who was
yeah.
Bernie?
Yeah.
It's probably a guy actually named Bernie, is my guess. Dude, just like picked him up.
Spoiler alert.
No, I don't know.
So what happens?
Well,
They don't spend his. Do they spend his money like these guys?
these two guys are like, you owe $2 million, and then they said, well, where's Bernie's money? And it's buried.
Of course it is.
And Bernie has to
Dance.
dance. Have you ever seen the Bernie dance? That's what he does in the movie.
Yeah.
It's good.
I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen the dance.
It's real good.
Weekend at Bernie's 2. Now, you are a big fan of this, legitimately.
Can't say anything about Weekend at Bernie's 1. Bernie 2, though, great movie. I don't even know if I've
You
seen
typically
Weekend at
start with
Bernie-
the
Yeah.
sequels? If voodoo's involved, you skip straight to the sequel.
Yeah. The buzz surrounding the film more than lived up to the hype.
But
Was this recently that you got into it, or like as a kid?
I feel like as a kid I grew up watching Weekend at Bernie's
2.
Weekend at Bernie's 2 has a 10% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow, they're blowing it. That's wrong.
All right, so with a full tank of gas and full bellies of burritos, they had had enough of Jarrett's corpse. They drove him back home and put him back where they found him. And then they called the police? No.
They could have gotten away with it.
They went to Shotgun Willie's strip club
With him?
using $400 from dead Jeffrey Jarrett's debit card.
How do they know his PIN?
He typed in the PIN.
Yeah, if you put a dead person's hand up next to a
Boop, 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 boop.
it's just by rote they'll do it. I've done that before.
After they left Shotgun Willie's, they did finally report to the police. Something's up with Jarrett. You might want to come check it out. So they were arrested. Both pled guilty to felony identity theft for using Jarrett's credit card. And both men had to write letters of apology to Jarrett's family as well.
Jarrett didn't care, man. You know what? I mean,
Neither was charged for the death, but Jarrett was still dead.
my assessment of this is, of course, they
Jarrett.
shouldn't have done it, and that they definitely deserve the charges that they got. But if you think about it, and I'm just telling you this right now, if I die, and you want to use a little bit of my credit card to go have some fun, and you want to bring me along. I mean, it'd be a great way to remember
If the dead
me.
body's there, I think as long in the same way they did that, you can still use the credit card if his dead hands are swiping it.
Yeah.
I think you got to bring him in all the way. He has
Yeah.
to be in Shotgun Willie's swiping the credit card. I don't know where
And
you
what
swipe
I'm saying
it in a
is,
place like that.
I'm willing to do that. And the other thing that I'll let you know is I do have buried treasure, and I will dance towards it. That is a fact, son.
And I want to be culturally sensitive here, but I was watching a video in Indonesia. They'll the dead relatives they will keep around,
Right.
and the more
Wealthy you are.
the more wealthy you are, the longer that you're able to keep your dead relative around. And then they have a practice of even after you intern or whatever, but put the dead relative away.
You bring them back out.
3 years later, they bring
Change
them
the
out,
clothes, give them a cigarette.
change their clothes.
Yeah. You're going to do that for me, right? Tall guys die first.
Now, I don't at this point believe the same things they're believing about that. So if I did it, I don't think it
Just
would be
for
legit.
kicks, man.
Yeah, you can't just do that for kicks. You got to have cultural reasons
Okay.
to do it.
All right.
So I would be arrested. I'm not going to risk like
What
whatever that charge would be.
What if we move to Indonesia?
Well, then it's up for grabs.
Okay.
But it's like
book the
after
trip.
3 years, like Chrissy was like, "Aren't you just bone?" It's like, no, you're very much intact after 3 years with the way they preserve it.
I mean, it's still not pretty, though.
Fingernails, mustache, the eyeballs are gone, but
It's not pretty.
you can still dress them up. You can tape them to a column and let them hang out, which they do.
Yeah. Please take me to a column. Be a big one, big tall column.